Oh, yeah.
Hello there. Thanks for joining me. I am Dr. Jen, and this is My Life as a Landlord. They say that you become like the five people you hang out with, so be careful who you surround yourself with. Well, who do I hang out with? People who make me level up. My guests today have walked the same walk Mike and I have headed down, a multifamily real estate, but they've done it bigger, better, and before us, which is super cool. Here to tell us their story and what they're up to now, Paul and Leticia Montelongo. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
So
I'm
good to see
good.
you.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to this.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you on the show. This is so fun. Yay. Let's see, where do we start? So let's just start how we met. We met you through Multifamily Mindset.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, listeners, Paul is our mentor. Well, both of you are, because you guys have both done all kinds of multifamily, but you guys are all doing interesting things. So, okay, I'm gonna give you that platform now. You guys talk. What interesting things are you doing?
Well,
All
I'll let
right.
you go
Oh,
first.
you let me go first?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you
Um,
like talking about it.
well, first of all, the way we met, you and I and you and us and Mike, because we have this mutual business interest called multifamily investing. So for the last 13 years, I've been investing in multifamily or multi-unit, I call them multi-unit properties, right? So that's marinas, that's apartments, that's storage, anything multi-unit that can send you multiple checks, like you guys do, RV parks, that kind of thing, multiple checks. Okay. So that's taken us down this path, and I did some numbers recently, and it's real close to 2,000 units that I've transacted during this time frame. And so then about a year ago, we met some people who were investing in data centers. Now, I had no clue. I mean, I had no clue. So over the last 12 months, we have been uh, developing a relationship with this group. And about 2 months, maybe 3 months ago, then we decided to go ahead and take the plunge and invest in data centers. And so what you don't know, we talk regularly, right? But what you don't know, because we haven't talked lately, is that Friday we had an LOI signed to invest in 117 acres in Alabama, and on it is going to be a 23 megawatt data center.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can get your head wrap around what 23 megawatts is, but that's enough power to service 23,000 homes or so. It's a small city. So that's what we're doing, and we're we're all like everything else. We put both feet in the swimming pool, and we are learning to swim, and we've got a great
But with great people.
oh
That's
great
the great thing,
that's
right?
that's the key is you got to attach yourself with people that have been there and know that and have done it and they're doing it and they happen to have a data center about a mile away. They're operating the data center a mile away, and then another one in Mississippi and another one in Tennessee. So they know what they're doing. Um, but this is a good strategy now of diversification. A few years ago, we decided that we were just not going to exclusively invest in multifamily. We were going to diversify. So that's when we went out to land development and storage, and now data storage or data centers. And so the I believe this that if you're a business person, if you're an entrepreneur, the skill sets of being an entrepreneur are translatable to just about any kind of business. And so that's what we've done, and we've applied that in data centers.
Yeah. And we really kind of started looking this about a year ago, looking at like, we're not going to do multifamily forever. We had our first real retreat that was a diversification retreat that we held in Costa Rica. And we invited different speakers that spoke not just multifamily, but how to buy businesses, oil and gas investing, as residential assisted living. So at that time, we were learning all this and then we were sharing it with the people that we were mentoring. And, once you get in rooms like that, I mean, then we saw ourselves not going to just multifamily conferences. We were going to investment conferences. And that's really how we met these
Family
people.
office
Yeah.
conferences.
And
Yeah.
we met these people at that. And, it's kind of like dating. You kind of have coffee with them and then you go to dinner with them a few times and you spend some time with them and you get to know them. You're like, well, I might trust them and see how this goes. And it just continues on. And so 9 months in, we decided to get engaged. We got an LOI now.
Yeah, but we've been working on this site now for a few months.
Yeah.
So, it's a big investment, and it's a big,
Huge, yeah.
it's a big project. And so it just takes time. And along with everything else that we're doing, we've been working on it daily for several numerous months now, daily at some level. And so, yeah, here we are. And I'm sure
So,
that'll lead to something great.
well, it's very entertaining, never ever boring. That's quite the adventure, I would say, even though I just had an adventure going elk hunting unfruitfully, but we did go elk hunting, but hunting for data centers. But I have to ask a simple question. Can you explain what a data center is? Like,
Oh
what
yeah.
is it? It's a
This
building?
Okay, this is a great sign because now we're talking about it like we know, well, like we think everybody should know about it. Okay, so
Right.
that's a great sign.
Okay, good.
So essentially, essentially a data center is where all of the data that's used in the world, you open your phone, you take a video, you drive down the turnpike and they take a picture of your car, your Ring doorbell, your medical records that are kept on file at the hospital, everything is a result of
Tolls.
everything is a result of computer computation, computing, or storage. So data centers are physical buildings that hold racks, computer racks, storage racks, servers, right? And so with for all this information, and you have two sides of it. You have the AI compute, because AI is huge. AI is the thing now. So the actual computation of the material of the data. And then once it's computed and it lands where it's going to land, let's say it took a video, then it needs to be stored for some period of time. And so you have certain racks that operate at a higher level because they're in the compute mode, certain racks that operate at a less higher level because they're in the storage mode. Makes sense? And these facilities, they have to have redundancy, in other words, backup to backup to backup. They have to have power that can kick in case something happens. They take a tremendous amount of electricity, and
Yeah.
yeah, and there are tenants everywhere. Like there's no shortage of tenants that need to store their information and their electronic information. And so um, what these are micro, we call them micro data centers. So they're not the AWS, they're not the Facebook, they're not the Meta, they're not the Google, they're not those huge farms that are $500 billion. That's not, we're not talking about that because that's for those really big companies. These are for the mid-range companies and mid-range end users. And so they're called micro data centers because they're smaller, but they're also located all over the country. So in the state of Texas, it's estimated that in 2026, there's going to be somewhere between 400 and 600 of these micro data centers built in the state of Texas. Okay. So you say then, well, why are we buying a piece of land with this power? By the way, it's an old brass manufacturing company. It's a foundry. Okay. And it's been there since 1951, but it closed in 2024. But to accomplish the operations of a brass company, it had to have power and it had to have fiber and it had to have water. And it has all of that. And so we're buying basically a unused piece of real estate and we're converting it to these new data centers. We don't need the 117 acres, but the power comes with the 117 acres.
Yeah, so we'll have the ability to go in and probably sell a lot of the rest of it because a lot of it's on the highway frontage, right? And one of the reasons that we're going this route, because if we were to build a data center somewhere else, it would take us 2 years to get the permit to get the power. So this is like one of those unicorns that we found, right? It's got the power, it's got the space. It's interesting. So we have found a company that's going to come in and tear the building down, take it all away, and give us $1 million for the steel.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Really?
it's reclaim metal, reclaim
Yeah.
steel.
Isn't that crazy?
So the
Yeah.
$1 million goes against, of course, the purchase price.
Yeah.
So
So start looking around.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so well, instantly, I mean, I speak megawatts because that's the currency of nuclear reactors, right? And my
Okay.
background is
All right.
nuclear
All right.
propulsion engineering.
Okay.
And so
Yep.
when you start talking megawatts, you are talking large. So and you're instantly talking power. And so I'm like, okay, big megawatts, 27 megawatts, right? 27, 23. What was it?
23.
23.
23.
Yep.
23 megawatts. And so the positioning of it, what's powering that grid then? Is it water? Is it wind? Is it coal? Is it, what is it? Where's all that coming from? Or do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, in Texas, it makes
I,
it easier to
I
meet because you can, there's lots of natural resources and burning and,
right.
and that kind of stuff. But in Alabama, it may be the same one. Sorry, Paul.
No, that's okay. I don't want to give away too much on this because um, we still have to close the property, but
And fair enough.
there's a water resource on the property with a
Mm,
permitting capacity of lots and lots of gallons a day. Okay.
nice.
So, and that has been there since 2020, I believe, the permit in its existing state. So it does have a tremendous water source on it, and
It's got water tower.
water tower for storage, and that can also become important because these computers and these storage racks, they throw off a lot of heat, as you might
Yeah,
imagine. And so there's two ways to cool them, forced air or water.
water.
So obviously the water is cheaper. So
Hmm.
again, like Leticia was saying, there's a lot of options on this property for us to monetize it and do different things and service the big goal of the data centers. And it was truly a unicorn, like she said. Yeah.
So you started with multifamily,
Uh-huh.
multi-unit, and I'm
Well,
still stuck on 2000 units transacted. Like, wow. That's
that took a
yeah.
while.
I
It
want
took
to
a
hang
while.
out with you guys more.
That took a while. We currently have little over 720 or something like that, 723.
That's
Yeah, and
still more than
so
me,
and we
which is
and
good.
and we sold our storage property
Oh,
earlier this year. So that reduced the number as well. But we've got some offers in on apartments, but it's a little bit more challenging right now to buy apartment complexes.
why do you
And
think that is?
well, money costs more.
Yeah,
Sellers don't want to take a cut. Interest rates are high. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And people are stuck. They don't know what to do. They're
yeah,
worried about the economy. They're worried about tariffs. They're worried all the time. Yeah. So everybody's just waiting.
it's kind of all put together. And so because of this, then investors, they're tighter, they hold on tighter to their money for they would traditionally have put their money into apartments, or multi-unit places. So then it's all interwoven.
And I mean, there's so much political stuff going on. So
Political
there's so
pressure.
much
yeah.
unease in the world, and people don't want to spend their money when stuff like that's going on. They're like, save our money, just keep it in the bank and wait. Let's make sure everything's going to be fine.
Another interesting thing is too, the properties that we do have, the rents are inching up. And
Hmm.
so as an owner, we're like, I'm not under a lot of pressure to sell the properties
Right.
because the rent continues to inch up. And so we're seeing that also in some of the offers that we make. The sellers are very unwilling to negotiate, and they don't really have to because they're covering all of their expenses, and their rent also is
So
inching
they're
up.
in a wait and see too.
Yeah, everybody's kind of
Yeah.
wait and see. But
It's really interesting in the US, you get a mortgage on a property, typically it's for long term, typically. Doesn't have to be, doesn't always have to be, but it's typically for long term. But in Canada, there's usually, 30-year amortization, but a 5-year term. And so there's lots of mortgages in Canada that are popping right now. And by popping, I mean everybody got a 2 or 3% interest rate 5 years ago, and now they're being forced
Yeah.
to requalify and at a higher interest rate, 4, 5, 6, even 7% on some commercial properties. And everybody, so that it's really interesting, even across the border, how different rules have different impacts. And sellers sometimes are really urged to, they really feel motivated to sell because they can't afford sometimes negative cash flow, right?
Mhm.
Even if their rents are inching up, their costs are going up way higher. It's really interesting. So you mentioned different diverse ways that you're doing. So you've got multi-family, you've got storage, marinas, and then the data center, but the data center isn't people's stuff. Like it's just, it's a bit like it has no human factor, kind of, right? Like it's just
Oh,
sort
isn't
of
that great?
there.
Even better. Even better. Even better.
Nobody to yell at.
Nobody to write in a
Nope.
service request.
Nope, nobody.
I don't have
Nobody's smoking pot on your balcony
No, nobody
over
dumping
the pool.
into the streets, nothing like that. It's great.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
did we say
So
that out loud?
Yes.
you
Yeah.
guys,
Yes, but I mean, we'll have clients. I mean, they'll just be businesses, right? So,
gotcha.
Yeah. So you
Gotcha.
take, for example, just any business. I don't know, pick a
like
big,
Microsoft,
Mi-
they use data centers like ours for storage, right? So
and
you
Okay.
might just have a big contract with Microsoft, and they would come in and they would put all their data there, and they would store it for how many ever years that they needed storage. And then people that go out and want to do AI development, they don't
Mm.
have it as long, but it costs more, right? So they have theirs there while they're doing a project. So it's just all different types of people that are going to be using the centers. And some of them will be specifically just for a certain company, and then some of them will be different businesses in there at the same time. So
So that's all the rage right now. Everyone's talking about AI, and Chat GPT seems to be the synonym for AI, even though
yes.
that's not really what it is. That's just one program for AI.
correct.
How is AI going to impact data centers? I mean, you just said they could be a client, but are there other ways that that could be involved as well, or do you know yet? Because you haven't done it yet.
Well, what has happened is everything that you see on Chat GPT or Grok or any of those Perplexity,
Right.
that's all that's learning language models, right? Or language
Okay.
learning models, right? So every time you prompt it, every time I prompt it, it learns something new or
Mm-hmm.
different, or it reinforces what it knows. Okay, we know this. That's
Okay.
all compute. That's all active learning
Mm-hmm.
technology. And that's what takes so much space. And that's not going away. Like we use Chat GPT instead of Google now.
We're not
And
even
Mm.
talking to you right now. We are robots. You don't even know who we are.
that would be awesome. Yeah.
Good thing I know you guys.
You know, it's funny, we had a call a couple weeks ago with our brand manager because we're starting a campaign soon for marketing, and they were talking about making little robots of us, right?
Really,
Yeah, we just couldn't
So instead of just talking to people, it'd be somebody that just looks like me talking to you.
with
Isn't
your
that crazy?
voice. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
it is. It's like, no,
That's
we're not there yet. We don't want that.
that is nuts.
yeah.
We could do a lot of podcasts though,
Oh,
like 100 a day.
like 100 a day.
Yeah, we
And you
could.
wouldn't have to break. You wouldn't have to go to the bathroom or drink
Yeah.
water. You just go.
Yep.
We're just like a robot.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you guys, besides Mike and I, you guys have a Maui connection as well. Let's bring human stuff back
Okay.
and talk about you guys and Maui. You guys love Maui way before you
So
met
much.
us. How is
So,
Maui in your life?
so I love it so much. I love it so much. I do. But I told you that last time I talked to you. So we got married in Maui at my request because I love it so much.
At her request. There wasn't much pushback.
Yeah. And so I guess this last time I went, it's the 8th time I've been there. We had such a lovely time this summer when we went. Yeah, 18 days of paradise. Man, I had such a great time.
This time was a little different because we got to meet a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
We just because
We were there a long time,
we
right?
did a bunch of social stuff, right? And played pickleball and did all that
Volleyball.
volleyball and stuff. And so we just met a lot of cool people. And we actually met somebody from San Antonio, and we talked about this Mexican food place that we like, we had in common.
Yeah.
So when we got back, we went to it, we took a picture and we
Sent
sent
it
it to him, made him cry. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a great place for us, to escape.
Yeah.
So
We love Sugar Cove. That's our favorite place now.
our favorite place is Sugar Cove.
So fun. So fun. Well, tell us a little bit about your history. What did you guys do before Paul and Leticia? You guys were Paul and Leticia independently. What did you guys do before you guys?
Well, I worked in corporate America forever. And then 2008, I left after we had an election. And the president at that time passed a bunch of they passed a bunch of legislation he was all in favor for, and basically pushed the company that I was working for out of the business. So I worked for Sally Mae, and I was a senior vice president of sales and marketing. And I did that for a very long time. So I took a package, and then I just figured, what am I going to do with my life? And then I just became a serial entrepreneur, and I had multiple small businesses. I was a single gal. I had a really cool self-service yogurt shop. I had a food truck. I had a med spa. It just went on and on. I had a marketing company. And then when Bitcoin came about, I thought Bitcoin was really cool, and nobody knew what it was but me. It was great at that time because nobody knew. It was like I could talk about something, and I could walk into a room and I could say, "Do y'all know about Bitcoin?" Everybody would just stare at me like, "What is?"
Like, do you know what a data center is?
No, it was crazy. And so within about 16 months, I was able to start a small trading company of cryptocurrencies before the laws passed that you had to be licensed and do all that stuff. And then out of that came a television show called The Crypto Cafe. And it was a Fox show during the summer. And it was 10 weeks long. And so I did that. And I had lots of cool people flying from all over the world be on my show. And then right after that show was over, this guy named Paul Montelongo, he was a real estate investor. He had sent me an email, and he said he had a podcast. And he was like, would you be on my podcast and talk about Bitcoin and real estate? Because I had done one of the shows on that. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And then he hit me up again. He's like, hey, I'm going to be in town this Friday to visit my granddaughter. He goes, would you like to do this? And I was like, yeah, sure. I finished my show finally. And I was like, sure, come on over. This is my studio. And lo and behold, this guy walks in. I was so starstruck. I was just like, excuse me, I'll be right back. I go to my room. I change clothes. I put a different dress on. It was so funny because I had a nice dress on for the podcast, but it wasn't really nice. So I think he didn't even notice, but I was like, okay, now I'm ready.
Hello.
And then later that evening, he went to dinner with his brother, and he texted me and thanked me for being on the show. And I had been out having drinks with my girlfriends, and I was like, well, y'all should just come join us for drinks. And that's kind of how things started. Right?
10 months
then
later, we were married.
Yeah.
There you go. On Maui.
Yeah, actually on Maui, yeah.
Yeah. So it was very fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, he's so awesome.
Oh, you're sweet. Yeah, so I had heard that you could buy real estate with Bitcoin.
Oh.
And so I was.
Is that true?
Yeah, that I did a show about that, and he saw it. And so he's like, I want to interview you for my show. And I was like, okay.
I was researching real estate and Bitcoin, and I guess the algorithm popped her up, right?
Oh.
And I was like, okay, there's a double whammy. I could have a good podcast and meet a good looking woman. So so here we are.
So here we are.
Here we are.
Real estate brought us together.
Yeah. That podcast is still out there on YouTube.
The first one, it was so funny. We're just all like
kind of giddy, I guess. But
yeah, it's funny.
Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So let's see. Then I've been in real estate all my life, and bought my first property when I was 17 years old. I've been a contractor and builder and just about anything and everything real estate. And then, like I said, 2012, I started buying multi-unit. I got out of single family residential uh, investing and flipping, and I started buying multi-unit properties. And that's when I bought my first property, which was a marina in North Carolina.
Mm.
And so I reasoned that actually I went to an apartment investing seminar, and the guy there challenged us to to put something under contract within 30 days. Now, there were 1,000 people at this program, and I don't know who paid attention to this challenge or not, but I took it seriously. And so so I went and 30 days later I had this marina under contract. But I reasoned, okay, it was 100 and let's see, it was 115 boat slips, and it was 30 something RV spaces. So I reasoned, well, there's 150 doors, and so anyway, we went ahead and closed that and operated that for a few years and sold it, and then started. But the people that I partner with, they were apartment investors, and so they taught me what they knew about how to buy apartments, and so then I started buying apartments,
Hmm.
investing apartments. Yeah.
And then you got into storage as
Yes.
well.
Yeah. Storage was just a natural extension to me. Storage, it's like apartments, not so twin brother.
Different mother or different
It's the
mother.
twin brother from a different mother.
Okay.
How's that? Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't want to get too incestual there. Anyway, so
That's so
because
funny.
it's all the same, right? You have doors and rent and market rent and those
Yeah.
kinds of things. So um yeah, then we got in that. And then with that came land, and we developed the land, we
Mhm.
entitled the land, permitted the land, which I had, a lot of experience with from the past. And so it's funny, I don't really think about it very often unless people like you ask me, but I've done a lot of things entrepreneurial through my life. And so when somebody says, well, what makes you think you can do data centers? I don't really have an answer for that other than I just think I can.
But
It's
but
like
it involves all of your
it
specialties.
does. I
It's
really,
it's vacant land, it's permits, it's clients, it's syndication, talking with people. I mean, it's
everything.
everything kind of patchwork quilted together.
It
I think
is.
it's a natural
So
progression.
yeah, I have this thought, this philosophy, theory or whatever. It's actually real. Everything that I've ever done in the past has led me to what I'm doing today. So that's experience, that's learnings, that's mistakes, that's successes. Everything has shaped what's happening today. So if I can just keep that in mind and understand that it's been the building blocks, then this set of building blocks will be fine. And this will lead to something later.
I like it. I like it. Well, your progression has led you to yet another podcast, High Velocity Couples, which thank you so much for having Michael and I on the
That
show.
was
How
so cool.
that was really fun.
Oh yeah.
And of course, your studio where you had the recording was amazing. Like that whole thing was neat too. But how is your show going?
Well, you know that she had some surgery.
Yeah.
So because of the last two,
A couple episodes out.
yeah, we have a couple, we had
Take a
it,
break.
but we knew this was going to happen. So
Yeah.
we did
When it started.
two really, really good. Actually, we
We've done
with the other one, three or four.
3, 4,
No, we did the two and two. Yeah. So we've done four.
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've done 4 episodes. And then we had to take a break. Okay.
Sure.
Because of her surgery and her recovery. And today is day 60 since her recovery. So next
Yeah.
Tuesday, is it Tuesday?
Yep.
Next Tuesday is when we relaunch our
High velocity.
high
couples.
velocity couples
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
And so, but everybody in our world knew that this was happening, and our marketing people knew this, and they knew we had to go take care of her health, and then so we're back on. So, and that's really a cool project for us because when we had both been single for 13 years. You know this, so I'm sharing it with your audience. We had both been single for 13 years. And so as such, we're both type A personalities. and both kind of, uh, what's the word am I looking for here?
Wonderful.
I don't want to be, I don't want to be arrogant or anything, but we're highly driven individuals. Okay. And we're go-getters. Okay. So then that created a clash in the early
Mhm.
days with our business. I think I should do it this way. She thinks it should be done this way
He didn't
because
get it. He didn't get the whole, like, you're
part,
married now. You have a
partnership.
partner.
But
Don't you do it your way in your own life.
she had done things her way successfully. I'd done things my way successfully. So, when we came together and we wanted to buy more apartments and do more real estate and do the things that we've discussed, it created some additional learning
Experience.
experiences.
Some additional, more mistakes to bring you to this point that you got to in your life.
So fortunately, we worked through. Oh, I'll tell you a funny story. Okay, so when we were first married, we'd only been married like 2 months, right?
I know.
And we went to church. Okay, and at church there was this little pamphlet, and it was called
Re-engage
"Reengage" for couples
for couples.
that who were married and they were having some challenges
But we didn't see that part.
to get back together. So I see this brochure, and I'm like, hey, let's go to this class. Let's get out in front of this right away.
That's not what you said.
That's what I say now.
We went to this class because Paul thought it was like for a married couples class. He goes, that'd be so cool. We could meet other married couples. So we show up there and there's
And
like 60 couples there and they're all about to get a divorce. We were like,
Oh
but
no.
we did it for 2
but
weeks.
we did it
It
anyway.
was so much fun though. We learned why all those people hated each other. We didn't do any of those mistakes.
So yeah.
So it was a weird learning, but we loved it. And we went through all
Kidding.
this, all the books and the scripture, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And yeah. And we
But
met some cool people.
we met cool people we become friends with. But
Mhm.
so then on the backside of this, we have we're actually been challenged, like how can we help other people, okay, and other couples specifically,
Mm.
because you can be really in love with each other and be crazy about each other and all that, but from 8 to 5 when stuff is happening, it can be a challenge.
Hmm.
So we've just backed into it and thought about, okay, how did we work through that, and how does how can we share that with somebody else, with another couple, because like really what's the end game here? The end game is to build your legacy, to build your wealth, to build your family, to build your love life, to stay connected to the person that you made the decision to get involved with in the first place. It's your decision, right? You're the only one. I'm the only one that's responsible for that. So like how do we how we how do can we share what we've done with other people and other couples? And so the retreat that she talked about, that was our second one, and so that's one of the things that we do is we bring a diversification of speakers, as well as we had a therapist there,
Mm.
counseling person, counselor. And so we just feel like it's all put in together, all molded together. And so we've been able to codify that.
Yeah, and everybody really liked that part of it.
They really
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, she just wrote a book called How to Have the Best Fight of Your Life, which was really good. And we all went through that. Just how to like really fight, like and get what you want, but be respectful, and how to deliver it to your spouse or partner or yeah,
Are you guys going to do another retreat?
we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
We were supposed to have one this fall, but of course that was delayed. So
It'll be in the
Yeah.
spring.
springtime, yeah.
It'll be in the spring. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
fun. Well, I'd be interested in knowing that.
Yeah.
Yay.
We'll
Yeah.
definitely let you know where.
Yeah, we have a
Perfect.
good time too. We took people out into the jungle and did jungle tours and zip lining and waterfall rappelling and
Yeah.
all kinds of crazy things. It was
Yeah.
it was fun. It was fun, but it
Uh,
was but we really feel both of our retreats that we put on, and when we put on events, because we put on meetups and that sort of thing, we really try to make them nice. And so our two retreats were very, very nice, exquisite locations. And because we really feel like if we can put people in those kinds of settings, it just reinforces what good hard work can get for you, and what it can do, for your relationship, and it puts you in a different setting, a different environment. completely different from, you know, a hotel conference room. So that's part of our philosophy as well.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I'd be interested in knowing more. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Very
It'll be,
fun.
yeah.
Well,
You'll be on our guest list right away.
thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear more of your story. I mean, I've known you guys for a while now, and every time we talk, I learn more about the two of you and more about your perspective and your philosophy. And now you guys have got an LOI for this property, and I mean, this is so fun that you. And Paul, when we first hired you as our mentor, one of the fun things you said was, "You guys look like you do stuff." Because Mike and I do stuff, but you guys do more stuff. I think that's really amazing.
Well,
Yeah, very amazing.
So I think, you know, well, I know for a fact that we have had this decision, this conversation together, and we've made a decision that, you know, we're in the latter quarter of our life. We'll call it quarter of our life. Okay. And you want to go quarters or you want to go thirds?
Thirds.
Thirds. Okay. But we're not going to leave anything on the table. You know,
Yeah.
we're going to leave it all out. And so that could mean some different things to different people. But for us, that just means being fully engaged in what we do and just being adventurous and challenging ourselves
Every day.
every day. And it's not always, you know, it's not always comfortable. In fact, most days it's uncomfortable, but it was just a decision that we made. And so we're not doing it for anybody except for us. And we see our kids and our grandkids, they witness what we're doing. And we don't say things to them like, you need to be doing this and you need to be an entrepreneur and you need to be adventurous. We don't say any of that stuff to them. We just go do what we do, but we also can tell that they watch. We know they watch. And so,
Of course they do.
Especially the littles.
especially the little ones.
Yeah, my little
Yeah.
granddaughter this summer, she's 9. She bought this little dog baking to make dog treats kits at a garage sale. And she did this whole dog selling biscuit program. She made $200 this summer. Little baggie. She made a commercial. She put it out in her neighborhood. She sold dog treats to everybody in her neighborhood all summer long.
That's fun.
And she got the
Amazing.
money and went and bought some geckos.
And we've taken them on property tours. The little ones.
The little girls.
Yeah, the little girls. I think we took them on when they were maybe 6 or 7. We were walking properties, and they were walking with us.
Showing them what
Isn't that the way it should be?
Yeah, and they may never ever do a real estate deal in their life. They may never do one, right? They may. We don't know, but they're getting exposed to how we interact with people, our work ethic, you know, how we enjoy what we do, and that energy is out there that they are witnessing.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. And I really like what you said about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think that's one of the hardest things as an entrepreneur, not just someone in real estate or dealing with units of different types, business in general. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable. And sometimes it's soberingly, you know, anxious or, you know, that feels different feelings for different people, but it's not comfort. And that's, I just laugh and I go, you know, comfort is an illusion. It's an illusion that you make for yourself, right? So,
That is true, because the thing that makes you uncomfortable may not make the next person uncomfortable.
exactly. Well,
In fact, there's
I'm
a good
sure
chance there's not, right? So it is an
I'm
illusion.
sure that most of my listeners don't use the words megawatt in their everyday vocabulary, but you guys do.
Oh, I'm dropping it
I
everywhere now.
might.
Now that I know exactly what it is, I'm laying it down everywhere I go.
What's your megawatt?
That's right. I went to Starbucks the other day. I'll have a megawatt latte, please.
All the time.
It's funny.
I'm
That
gonna
is
start
too
that.
funny. Well, you guys, if a listener wants to get a hold of you and ask you more questions, how would they do that?
Everything Montelongo Capital. Facebook, Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
We have an,
Montelongo.
At Montelongo Capital, Leticia at Montelongo Capital. Our website has contact information on it as well.
montelongocapital.com. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has our AOL address on it.
Eh,
It has our MySpace account on it. Every,
Sometimes people have old emails that they just will not give up.
I
Paul,
actually ran across someone not too long ago that is still using AOL.
is that still a thing?
Yeah,
That's still
apparently,
alive somewhere.
apparently
Oh
it
my
is.
goodness.
So yeah, anything Montelongo Capital has all of our social media. We're on everything social media under our names. And we post a lot of content. We post our videos, we post our lifestyle, we post our deals. So
We post our pickleball games.
we post our pickleball games. So yeah, yeah.
That is
And,
awesome. Well,
so-
thanks you guys. Any parting thoughts?
No, what do you think?
Any parting thoughts? I mean, I could make stuff up. I'll make one up. It's not made up, right? So, Tony Robbins, I'll quote him. How about that? Very
Okay.
simply, he says, live with passion.
Live with passion. I
Live
love
with
it.
passion.
Thanks for being here, you guys.
Thank you.